My name once again is King Natu Mtakam Tembo Mtakam Vela Sumaka Thank you so much for following me through Bakhetu. Thank you so much for subscribing each and every single day. I can see those subscribers. Thank you so much. Make sure that you share to your friends. Make sure that you come and join us whenever you have time. My name, like I said once again, is King Nati, and please help me to welcome my guest today, Mr. Kyle Hillhouse. Welcome to the building.
Nati, I appreciate it. That was an awesome introduction.
Thank you so much, man.
Once again, my name is Kyle Hillhouse, originally from Durban, South Africa. Came over to the States in 2014.
2014?
2014, yeah.
That was like, that was 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. October will mark my 10 years officially. My first season was 21st of October when I landed in America for my first season. First season being at Boca West Country Club.
Okay.
Been an amazing experience thus far. Traveled all the way up north, all the way back down to Florida. Made my way back down to Florida with my wife.
Oh, really? That's
Mahela
nice.
Hillhouse, yeah. Also did about 8 seasons at Boca West herself. Actually, funny enough, she was my manager at
Really?
at Boca
Your
West.
wife was your manager?
Correct, yeah. It's a small world.
You almost got fired. You almost get yourself fired. All right. So let us just talk before we speak about your career.
Yeah.
I think there was that Kyle before coming to America. Can you just tell us a little bit about your lifestyle in South Africa?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're growing up and all this stuff.
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
I think many people can agree that the person you were in South Africa, definitely the culture of America changes you with opportunities that you have with your everyday spendings that you do on a regular daily basis. You're looking at every time you want to pay for something, you're always wanting to convert it into South African rands. And that's what I spent my first year thinking and doing. And slowly but surely, what you make in America doesn't compare to anything at home. It's obviously depending on the career.
Living lifestyle.
Exactly. The lifestyle's different. Johannesburg, Cape Town, Durban.
It's different.
It's culture so different. And to answer your question, the person I was when I was at home was someone that was just really seeking to understand. I wanted to come over to America, earn a few dollars, go back home, pay for my studies, and continue my education in civil engineering.
Oh, really?
So that was
That's good, man.
that was my career path that I wanted to go forward with. I really enjoyed the technical side of engineering, graphics, and design in high school. That was really my passion. That was something that I really excelled in. That was something
That's beautiful, man. I'm
yeah,
happy for you.
it was really exciting. That part of high school, that lesson, and I just wanted to be some sort of engineer.
Oh yeah. So did you graduate in engineering?
No, so I landed up coming to America in my gap year. I finished high school, and I wasn't really set on coming to America. It was just an opportunity that landed up in my lap with a flyer. One of my friends said, "Hey, listen, there's Workaway International is doing interviews at one of the major hotels back in Durban," and I was like, "Okay, let's just go and see what's it about."
And you knew nothing about it until they told you about it.
Exactly that. I just read a flyer, and I know with so many scams and stuff going around,
But you just want to, like, you know, let me just go and see it myself.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, because people will always tell you about these scams and all this stuff, only to find out you are losing an opportunity.
Exactly. Yeah.
And look at you, man. Yes, you may think it's a scam and all the stuff, but look at you where you are today.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy, man, for you. Like, how was life back home, like in your family?
Yeah. I always tell a lot of people, everyone looks at me and they think I'm Spanish.
Especially in America.
Exactly, especially in America. And the only reason why I say that is I wish I could speak my wife's language. I wish I could speak Spanish. I wish I could be bilingual in many languages. But speaking about my complexion, speaking about myself, my mom is Indian, my dad's white. So really? white from Scotland, so that's where the complexion comes in.
Oh, okay.
So that has a bit of history with my complexion, how I look and stuff like that. So life back at home was very You know, when you're in school and you have to select white, Indian, black, other, I'm always stuck between that other or white or
I
Indian.
can
So
imagine. But which one did you choose?
it really depends on the day.
Sometimes you're Indian, sometimes.
You white, sometimes you other.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know, but anyway, I think it taught you something to grow up in that kind of complex, you know, because sometimes you'll meet some of your cousin from Indian cousin,
Yeah.
and some of them were white people. So now were you able to balance the two, the white and the Indian in the
Yeah.
family?
So growing up, obviously during apartheid and stuff like that, my mom and my dad were never able to really um, be seen in public together.
Oh, hey,
And yeah, so I mean,
apartheid thing, man. Yeah.
it's you know the situation back in South Africa. So it was definitely tough growing up through high school, through primary school, trying to identify your group of friends. Because I can definitely tell you now that the decisions that we make through high school and primary school, to all your viewers that are still in, maybe are still in school or in coming through high school or going
Yeah.
through colleges, all of those decisions that you make have a big impact of where you go in your future. Because I always say you have to take accountability for your mindset, and your mindset's a strong.
Yeah.
It definitely leads you in the right way if you have a strong mindset.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good, man. I'm happy to hear that. You know,
Yeah.
the first time I met you, you are already in that higher position that we're gonna speak about right now. But I've learned something. You know, I've learned something from that day, and whatever that I've learned from you, it always ring in my mind. And whenever I sit down with you, there's something that I wanna learn from you. There's something that I learned from you, and that is why today I have that thing. Like, you know what? Let me just Kyle to come to the podcast, because most of our viewers here are H2Bs.
Yeah.
Are the people who wish one day that they wanna be in your position.
Yeah.
But before we get to that, man, I just want you to tell me about your journey now, leaving South Africa, coming to America, and what are the challenges that you came across before you decide that I want to settle in America?
That's a very good question. I think I definitely didn't have the whole vision of being a citizen in America. That wasn't I can't say that was a goal of mine in my first season that I stepped foot into America. I definitely, my first season in America was in food and beverage. I was a server in Panache, and that was my first ever season being exposed to the American culture of the food, of the service, and it's a completely different style. It's you obviously know you're experiencing it, but I'm very fortunate that I landed up in my first season at Boca West, because that was an amazing training ground, and I definitely think it set the standard of what hospitality is. Working with Mr. D, working with Matthew Lindemann, Andrew Macia, they really painted a picture of what hospitality is. And it was a very clear picture. It was nothing black and it was very black and white. And if you stepped outside that area, you were definitely held accountable for that. And I think that's what really gave me the opportunity to figure out myself if hospitality is something that I want to be in, or if it's not something that I want to be in. And when I was making those decisions, you know, every day when you had to come into work, you had to do your best. You had to come in and do your best every single day. And if you didn't do your best, it was a question if you were going to be at that company or that organization for any longer. And although it was long hours and it was hard work and you were regretting it every single day after working a long Hadassah or card party, you have to have that mindset of for a reason. There was a reason why you left South Africa. And many people have their own personal reasons. You might not confide in a person and tell that person what those reasons are, but there is an underlying reason of why you left South Africa, or it could be anywhere, Ireland or Romania or wherever it's wherever your background is. So you gotta understand that what is the reason of why you left that home country, because it takes a lot for someone that's leaving South Africa, that's 18, 19, 20, 21. That's still a young age to leave your home country. You're leaving your whole family. You're leaving your whole everything that you left behind. So you got to dig deep and really find that inner meaning of what the reason of why. Just figuring out like why you left. So my first season was I wouldn't say it was a struggle. It was definitely a challenge. Jumping through those hoops whether we can do it, whether we cannot do it.
Mm.
But just having a strong management team
Mm.
at Boca West really set that tone and really guided me through the next journey. So 2014 was my first season. Decided to go home.
Mm.
I came back later, 2014. I might butcher up the dates, but 2014 I came back,
Mhm.
and then I joined the banquets,
The banquet team
exactly,
in Boca West.
in Boca West.
Okay.
It was a group of about 25 individuals, and that really set the tone of what teamwork was.
Yeah.
Andrew Macia, Angel, Thomas Kazner, there were so many legends that I worked with that really set the ground of what teamwork looks like. And ever since, that is my passion to create teams just like that and just like what we had. If we had a problem with each other, we would own up and be, hey, listen, Nazi, this is where we can work better. This is how we can do things, and let's do it together. No one was leaving 1 hour before each other. No one was not wanting to come out, leave work early, vice versa. It was, you were in it to win it. And just that team aspect, I was very big in sports in school, indoor hockey, outdoor hockey, rugby. So I was very team orientated as an individual, and I still am. I'm very goal driven.
Yeah. No, I see that,
And
man.
yeah,
I'm a witness of that.
yeah, and you'll say, if you ask my wife the same thing, she will say, like, she knows that if I set my mind to something, I'm gonna achieve it.
Yeah.
And my second season, that's something that I realized, that I want to become a permanent resident and a citizen in America, and I just kept on grinding and just kept on pushing the envelope and the boundary since then.
Yeah. That's good, man.
Yeah.
Wow. No, man. Yeah. Like, you have a very strong foundation. Yeah. And our foundations are not the same, you know, because our focus, again, as people are not the same still. And as people, I normally say, as people, we all have different journey.
Yeah.
You understand? How you started your life is not how I started my life. And your focus might be different from my focus.
Yes.
My focus can lead me to the right or wrong direction. Your focus, again, can lead you to the wrong or right direction. But so far, I think your focus of life, it led you to the right direction.
Correct.
And that is why you're sitting here today, having to mention those individuals who contributed in your success.
Yeah.
It's because of they led you to the right direction.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for you. Congratulations.
I appreciate it. And I think it's definitely choices that you make along the way. I can say I made good choices. I can say I made bad choices. I can say I made relationships for life. I can say I burned relationships. But one thing that I think a lot of people don't understand is the choices that you make, you have to live with those choices. And I'm not some motivational speaker. It's just being in the country for 10 years. There's decisions that you're going to make that are incorrect, that's not going to benefit you, but you got to make sure that you stick with those choices and follow through with it, regardless if it's good or bad. You don't know. It could be bad for a week, it could be great for the next 2 weeks. And to your point, you made a good point. People have different reasons of coming over to America, but you also got to think about it. I always say there's a reason why you left your home country, or there's a reason why. I would go back in a heartbeat for the food and the family and the friends.
Yeah.
That's something that I would drop everything for, and I'll take my wife and we will go there. But there's definitely a reason. There's opportunities here in America, and talking about opportunities, I think I just seized every opportunity that I could in taking risks and just taking on the challenges and just going with the flow. And it's really eye-opening to understand the choices that you make. You stick with those choices.
Yeah.
And if you just follow through with those choices, as you said, could be good, could be bad, but I can't say every choice that I made that has benefited me. It's definitely a blessing that I'm in this position that I am right now. I believe I worked hard, but it was definitely a team effort and support from other individuals to get me this far.
My man, I'm inspired. Seems like we're gonna have a very long conversation here today, and I know that a lot of people are gonna learn a lot from your journey.
Yeah.
So how long did you stay with Boca West, and what happened after Boca West?
Yeah. So I was at Boca West from 2014 to 2018. In 2018, we had the opportunity to go up north. My first club up north was in Teaneck, New Jersey, at Montami Country Club. That was a okay experience for up north. It was my first club that I ever went to up north. It was a great experience for an up north club. Knowing the standards, something that didn't set well with me was knowing what standards you have down in Florida and then working up north, and you just like, wow, like this is completely opposite. So it was a quick season, 5-6 months. We made our way back down to Florida,
And then
and
you came back to Boca West.
we came back to Boca West.
When you say we,
Yeah,
you and your wife.
it wasn't really myself and my wife. It was myself and one of my close friends,
Okay.
Keenan. Yeah, so
Keegan or Keenan.
Keenan,
Keenan,
yeah.
okay.
Keenan was with me most of my journey.
Mm.
But we came back down to Florida, and we had the opportunity to go back to up north, which was in New Jersey again.
Yeah.
And that was Fiddler's Elbow Country Club. That was in Bedminster, New Jersey.
Okay.
And Keenan, actually, who was a close friend to me throughout Boca West and throughout Fiddlers, introduced me to the family at Fiddlers, and Fiddlers was a great experience. It was a family-owned club. It was really focused on that family aspect. So I really was excited. My first season up there was a banquet server, and throughout the season they promoted me to banquet supervisor.
Oh, nice.
And yeah,
That's great.
and then when I left
Within
that,
that 6 months.
within that 6 months,
Wow.
yeah, and was my first season at that club. And then later, before I left, they offered me the green card opportunity at the club.
Are you for real?
Yeah. So,
Really?
yeah, so working at Fiddler's Elbow was an absolute pleasure. There was so many people there that just had the drive of being member focused, and that's something that sits well with me. Understanding that in Florida and learning that in Florida was just something that just sat well for me, and I did 4 years there. And I got my green card later in 2019, if I'm not mistaken.
And how long did it take?
It took about 2 years. And I was very fortunate. Obviously, it came before COVID. That was something that I was found as a real blessing. It came before the country shut down, the world shut down. But yeah, I was excited to get that. And as soon as I got that, October, I worked for about 2 or 3 months, and then I took a trip to South Africa. In 14th of Jan, I left. Came back 14th of Feb. A month later, the whole world shut down. So that was another choice that I made.
Yeah.
That was a blessing in disguise. I was able to get back into the country. Yeah.
Wow. So ever since you got your green card from that club you're working in up north, you didn't come back to Boca West anymore?
No.
So you stayed with the club for how long again?
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Then what happened after?
I went to a private restaurant group out in Pennsylvania. One of my biggest goals was because since 2014, I was never exposed to the dollar, of working as if it was your own business, and that was something that they taught me at that private restaurant group. I was the general manager of a restaurant.
Really?
Yeah.
So you were a server at Boca West.
Yeah.
You went up north. You became the banquet server.
Yeah.
And you became the supervisor. Yeah. Then from there,
a manager.
Wow, this man. Then from there, you went to the private restaurant, and then you became the general manager.
Yeah. So it was actually funny how it worked, because the owner of that restaurant, I wouldn't say was a member at Fiddler's Elbow, but was a member's guest, at a men's member guest. And I was just doing my thing there, was working a beverage station. We were doing a smoked old fashioned, really doing it for the show, lighting the bark bits, creating that atmosphere for, it was a member guest. And he comes over to me and he was like, "Hey, listen, come work for me." And I thought it was a joke, just had a good time. And then
and you were still enjoying your position.
I really enjoyed the club. He was like, "Hey, listen, just come work for me." Never knew him, just introduced myself. And anyway, conversations, he gave me his number. I contacted him just to say thank you. He invited me to his restaurant, beautiful restaurant, and it was a group. He really did things so well. He drilled things down to that customer experience. So, as I mentioned, one of the things that I wanted to learn was the actual meaning of the dollar. And I think being exposed to a restaurant, especially a restaurant where public individuals are allowed to come, there's many demographics that you deal with, which was really an eye-opener for me. Which was really an eye-opener. Because it's a whole different game. You don't see those same individuals again. You have to work within a certain budget. Anything goes over, you're held accountable for. You have a very thin white line to walk. And just working at the restaurant, I did exactly a year at the restaurant, and I think I was very much missing that membership lifestyle, creating those relationships, doing the the wow factor
Yeah.
for the members is
Mhm.
something that I missed, which brought me back into the club life.
And how long have you been there?
At the restaurant?
Yep.
For about a year. I was
For
exactly
about
a year.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So now, isn't it that when a company is sponsoring you with a green card, you have to serve them for 5 years?
Depending.
Depending on
Yeah.
the agreement.
Yeah, everything's negotiable.
Yeah.
Everything's negotiable. I'm not a big believer in contracts. Contracting an employee, the employee must want to work for the organization.
Yeah.
Do not put something over the employee's head to make it feel like they have to work for you.
Yeah.
That's
Wow. Listen to that. Can you please repeat that? Listen to that.
That's
Yeah.
definitely not a culture that you want to set.
Mm.
Everyone in the organization, from the senior leadership team to the general manager, needs to create an organization where you want to come to work, not where you feel like you have to come to work. Individuals that feel like they have to do their 5 years, I can guarantee you, after those 5 years, they're looking for another job.
Yeah.
And it's just tough because it's something that you have to understand as a person. Accepting that green card or accepting any opportunity, that if a organization is contracting you to a organization or a company, you got to really think long and hard. After those 5 years, is it still going to be an environment that you are going to want for, or you're going to be very miserable for the last 2 years of that contract? So to each their own. I'm not saying that organizations need to change their whole green card sponsorship structure, but I do believe we need to work on creating an organization or a culture where people want to come to work and want to feel like they can trust the HR, they can walk into anyone's office and have a general conversation and just be respectful all around.
Yeah.
And I think once you create that atmosphere, people start following the brand, not really the name, if I could say, but following the name, following the brand could interject. But I think a lot of people are set on, oh, I want to work for this club because it's a great name, or I want to go work for this hotel brand because it's a great name. Spend time working on trying to figure out what their culture is. You will be so much more happier working in a place if you fit into a culture, or if you land up in an organization that you enjoy the culture.
Yeah. Wow. No, man, yeah. I don't know why you consider yourself as a non-motivational speaker. By the way, if I were you, I was just going to take advantage of that stage. You know, just talk to people, man. Open people's minds. Because people are obligated in a piece of paper. Like, you know, you just put that you are working based on what they told you. You understand? You are not working based on what you know. You understand? And what you know and what you're gonna learn at work, it can make you the most happiest person. You understand? But now, if you're gonna work based on the contract that, oh my God, I have to be at work at 8 o'clock every day, you end up like going there because you feel like we are pushed to be at work. At the end of the day, man, you get tired along the way. That is why most people are hating jobs. Someone tell you that, yo, I hate Boca Woods. It's not Boca Woods. It's because of you are working under hard instructions. We are working based on a piece of paper. By the way, I'm not there. Let's talk about your life now. You are leaving the restaurant a year after becoming the general manager. What happened?
So after the restaurant, I went, got the opportunity down in Atlanta for director of food and beverage at Atlanta Athletic Club. And that was a great experience.
Director of food and beverage.
Yeah.
Hi guys, this man, this man is excellent.
And I'll be honest with you, every position that I went into, I never thought I would be ready for. And this is just, I'm just saying this. You will always be afraid to take the next step. Whether if it's a general manager position, whether it's a lateral move,
fear is always there.
It's always going to be present.
It's normal to have fear.
Something that I've overcome and work through, realizing that if you realize that every opportunity is going to be a challenge and is going to take a lot more work for you to overcome it, that first month, first 2 months, if you set the bar high for yourself and know that every day you got to go in and beat that bar, it becomes a very easy transition for you. As long as you have the willingness to work and do the right thing and have the right integrity and build on those relationships, those are the best things that I can say.
Mm.
A lot of people join organizations to make change. I think it's very hard for an individual to understand what changes need to be made
Mm.
in your first month, in your first 2 months.
Mm.
Any advice that I could give, be a person that's just very observant in the first month, 2 months. And if an organization is wanting you to come in and make a change within the first month,
Yeah.
you got to look at it if that's once again the culture that you want to be
Mm.
in.
Yeah.
A new person in any big position shouldn't have the responsibility to make a change that affects the organization.
Yeah.
And I think the transition into your new opportunity should be a opportunity that is just getting you on the ground, introducing to members, knowing the lay of the land, understanding the employee bathrooms, understanding
Yeah.
so much
Simple
more.
thing.
It's
Employee
simple
bathroom.
things. As
Yeah.
people move up the ladder, they feel like those small things become
Mm.
unimportant to them because they up in this big position.
Yeah.
When I got director of food and beverage, I was going over to the golf department. I was saying hello to the golf team members. I was going to the back of house. I was just going
And
all
that's what I
over.
see with you even now. You're still
Yeah.
doing the very same thing.
Yeah,
And I'm impressed about that, man.
so many people come in and put their blindfolds on and start sitting behind their desks to crunch out their work. My best time spent at the club is my first half an hour, walking in, saying hello to the front desk individuals, walking through, looking at the organization, looking at the club infrastructure itself.
Mm.
You're not walking into areas to ensure that it's set up ready to go. You're going to ensure to check in on your team.
Yeah.
That checking on your team could mean many things. You as a professional, when you walk in as a person in a position, you should be able to tell if something's wrong with those individuals. If it's something personal, if it's something that is bothering them about work. And a lot of people undermine body language, which is the greatest thing. I'm working with a phenomenal HR individual right now, amongst many other amazing professionals. But one person I do have to call out is Adrian. I work with her in the HR department.
Yeah.
Her ability to read body language is no other. And the reason why I talk about body language, and it's so important when it comes to your team. When I walk into work and I see an individual that is not themselves,
Yeah.
I go straight to HR. I say, hey, listen, like, we just got to keep an eye for this individual, really not themselves. Something's bothering them. That becomes a culture of concern where we are concerned about the individual, not about their performance.
Yeah.
You're concerned about that
You
individual.
check the background first.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people miss that in an organization, and it doesn't become family. It becomes a you clock in, you need to do this, you need to follow this job description, and you need to leave. Those days are long gone. And I think with the challenges that hospitality has, that's some of the greatest traits I learned in Atlanta when I was the director of food and beverage. I learned many things operationally and when it comes to people. So
Yeah.
I was there for about 2 years. Had a great opportunity at the club. The organization, we had about 1,900 members. That put me back into the swing with the membership clientele. Met some great people there. At the back of our minds, we always knew we were going to come back down to Florida.
Yeah.
We didn't think it would be so soon. I had my eyes set on one position and one club, and when the opportunity arose, I applied for it, and I got the position, and I've never been happier since then. Yeah.
Nice one, man.
Yeah.
So all of these positions,
Yeah.
are you resigning, or maybe you become unhappy and you feel like, let me look for another job?
Yeah. I always look for opportunities that's going to challenge me.
Not because of you're not happy with that
No,
particular.
I don't think I've ever not been happy at a place.
Yeah.
That it's very hard because I also think that happiness comes from within. There's many things that drives happiness. You could drive a nice car that drives happiness. You could come to work and you're happy. But I think once you understand that you've reached a certain limit in the club, in a club, and you can't make a difference anymore, that doesn't internally make me unhappy.
Yeah.
It's just I'm looking for better opportunities. But a lot of people, including myself, is
Yeah.
chase the culture.
Yeah.
I'm looking for culture.
Mm.
I'm very fortunate to be part of an organization that has amazing culture.
Mm.
That was something that was at the top of my list when I was looking for another opportunity, was the culture. And I explained to the current general manager at Boca Woods, there was one picture that I saw on LinkedIn
Yeah.
that I said that I want to work for that brand. And ever since, that feeling that I got when I saw that picture, and it's crazy, people say you looked at one picture and you had a feeling, 110% yes, I did. Because if the general manager is willing to do something, you know the team's willing to do something.
Yeah.
And it's exactly that. The culture that I've joined into has been the best culture I've ever worked in or worked with in any organization. Come from South Africa, come from my previous experience down in Florida, my experience in Atlanta, up north. It's currently the best place that I've ever worked.
Yeah. Okay.
And people, I don't think people really understand it if they haven't been exposed to it. But once you're exposed to it, you'll understand what culture really means.
Yeah.
So as I mentioned, I saw I was set on a position that I would want in Florida, and the position became available, and myself and my wife knew that we were going to come down to Florida sometime or another, because this is the lifestyle that we are looking
So
for.
do you like Florida?
Oh yeah,
Or
Florida.
you've been wanted to move to Florida?
And the crazy thing, and a lot of people say, oh, how can you move back down to Florida? The clubs are crazy, the standards are crazy. Why don't you just go up north? It's so much more relaxed. People are different. I don't believe that some clubs up north have that standards that Florida clubs have. The standards in Florida push you to do better every single day, consistently. It makes you look at the operations. It makes you look at the decisions. It makes you hold yourself accountable for those decisions.
Okay.
A lot of places, and it could be anywhere, it could be further west. I'm not speaking specifically for up north,
Yeah.
but it's just Florida is the state capital of country clubs.
Oh yeah.
You know someone's knocking on your door for that position. So every day you go into work, you know you got to do your best. And it's no threat, it's just reality. And that was one of the reasons why we wanted to come back down to Florida. Is one, we both from coastal cities in our home countries.
You from Cape Town? No, Durban.
No, Durban.
Yeah. Yeah, Durban is coastal.
And my wife is from Romania, in Constanța. So she is also from the coastal city. So coming back down to Florida was part of the plan.
Oh, okay.
So once again, it was just something that we had our mind on. And I said to my wife, hey, listen, like, if I'm applying for it, I'm gonna go guns blazing, and whatever comes out of it, we're gonna go with the flow, and hopefully I get it. Came for an in-person interview. I really enjoy the atmosphere, the culture, the greeting, walking in, saw familiar faces, and it just resonated that this is home for us.
Yeah, yeah.
And it just, everything lined up for us, and the next thing we knew it, we were packing a U-Haul to come down to Florida.
Okay. And how did you leave your club? What happened? Well, did you keep on looking for new position in Florida, and what happened after getting one?
It was just the one position I applied for. The one position I applied for down in Florida was at Boca Woods, and I was fortunate to get it. I said if I wasn't going to get Boca Woods, I would still be in Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was only one position I applied for, one country club I applied with, and I was very fortunate to get it. And once again, I say I've never been happier.
So what position was that?
Director of clubhouse operations.
Wow. Look at this man. Like, man, your life is moving. Like, within 10 years, like, you were promoted how many times? Like 5 times, 6 times? Maybe you even lost the count.
It's just opportunities. I think it's crazy. Like, from the whole green card experience.
Yeah.
Working with the team up at Fiddler's Elbow, working with the team in Atlanta. I can text the GM right now in Atlanta, and we could have a great conversation. He was a great person in the industry. He had a great name in the club scene. And once again, I've worked for prestigious clubs in the past, and we are heading that way with Boca Woods. And there's just so much opportunity that we have in front of us. When I talk about we, I always speak about the team, because once again, it's not a one-man show. It's definitely a team, from the H to B's to the team members that are here with us year round. There's always opportunity for us.
So now you are the, I don't know what to say, but I think I'm sitting with the right person here. You know, man, there's something that is driving you. And what is driving you is not driving a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because people think money is everything.
Yeah.
Money, I think it gives you peace of mind.
Yeah.
For you to have less of stress. But when you speak about the career, we're speaking about something different.
Yeah.
If you are focused, you know exactly what you want.
Yeah.
This is what happens.
Mhm.
So now you're telling me that you are the director, clubhouse, operations in Boca Woods.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you, bro.
From South Africa, man, coming to America. And like, trust me, there are those Americans, they are still supervisors after 20 years today. They are still managers, like, you know, food and beverage managers for 20 years today. But what pushes you in life? What motivates you in life?
I've always had this saying: don't chase money, chase passion. Passion will bring money. And that has always been my motto for my life. I've never gone into an organization and first question right off the bat, hey, listen, how much you're paying, or looking at the job description on LinkedIn or wherever it is to be, how much are you paying? That has never been a deciding factor for me in an organization. You obviously, it's something that you want to take into consideration, but I think a lot of people make organizational moves because of financial
circumstances.
Circumstances, responsibilities. You always need to put yourself in a position. I've always lived by this, and my wife understands it. The more income we have, the less expenses that we have.
Yeah.
A lot of people work differently. The more income you have, the more expenses you have. And that was a great business mindset I learned from the restaurant group that I work for. He was very much of a money motivator for me, in a sense where he made me understand that dollar amount. We could all be driving nice cars. We all could be wearing expensive clothes and stuff. But every single place that I go to, I always say that with my wife, or whenever we're shopping, if something's wrong on the check, or if we go car shopping or something like that, if you have a mindset that you have this much money or this much income, I can spend this, it's going to catch up to you. You need to understand everyone's driver needs to have, well, not needs to, I'm not here to tell people what to do.
Exactly.
But I'm always strong, because financial decisions are important, but it shouldn't be the dominant reason of why you're joining an organization. If money is important for you, I can say hospitality isn't the right location. You could be selling art at home, digital art, and you could be making thousands. You could be doing day trading, you could be making thousands. So being part of hospitality can make you happy for a week. Culture can make you happy for a year. An increase can make you happy for a month. Culture can make you happy for 2 years. So it really depends. You could keep driving or want to get a raise. If the culture is not something that you want to be a part of, you'll be miserable every single day, regardless of their raise or not. And I think so many people are caught up on that financial aspect of an organization, and they want to maximize it. It's very much of a scale. How many members are you serving? What's the size of the club? What's the hierarchy? What's the individuals that are reporting to you? There's so many different things. In this day and age, you get some direct reports. If you're in a position that is, and you have, let's just say, a food and beverage director that is reporting to you, sometimes that person as a direct report could be getting paid more than you. Some people see that as an issue, or some people see that as a problem. That's not a problem for me. If there is a director of food and beverage and I am the assistant general manager, and that director of food and beverage is getting paid more than me, that director of food and beverage is worth something. They are good at what they do. They know what they are doing. We rather have people like that in an organization that know what they're doing, that feel compensated well, that feel happy coming into work,
Yeah.
that feel like they are looked after coming into work. When people know that, and people, it doesn't sit well with people,
Yeah.
that they get paid more than you as a direct report, people's attitude and stuff changes. Money is a big aspect in some people's lives, but when you talk about money, you need to put yourself in a position. Once again, I can go buy a nice house now in Boca Raton and have monthly payments of 5,000 and not have any savings. That's not the life that I choose. That's not the life that I want. I didn't come over to America to live paycheck to paycheck, to be living in a nice house. I want to be able to still save. I want to be able to go on vacations when I can.
Yeah.
I always want to be able to go out to dinners with my wife, to have those experience-based dinners. I don't want to be stressing about paying bills from paycheck to paycheck
All the time.
because being in this country, having access to money is so easy, with getting a credit card, with getting so many opportunities and getting access to so much money. If you go down that rabbit hole by falling for that trap, it's a dangerous trap. I can tell you that now. It's such a dangerous trap with having so much access to money in America. It's crazy.
Yeah, that one I know for sure.
Yeah.
That one I know for sure, because I'm having a couple of friends finding someone owning 6 credit cards.
Yeah.
And whenever that person get paid, you have to pay those credit cards, because you know that they're gonna credit you again and reuse it.
Yeah.
Like it feels like you are just putting yourself into the trap of working for someone instead of working for you. In your mindset, when you wake up in the morning, you tell yourself that I'm going to work for myself. But at the end of the day, when you get paid, the money comes to you and go to somebody else.
Exactly.
And that's not how we want to live.
Yeah.
The best thing that you have to do as a person is that, okay, whenever money comes to you, let it give you choices that will groom you as a person.
Oh, yeah.
Not paying debts all the time. But anyway, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm still learning myself. Okay, Kyle. So now you are currently with Boca Woods.
Yeah.
As a director of operations.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice, man. I'm happy for you, man. And trust me, you inspire me all the time. Whenever I have a talk with you, I get inspired.
I appreciate
And
it.
I ask myself one thing. This guy at his age
Yeah.
already is on a higher level.
Yeah.
How did he make it? And like I said, I don't normally like to follow people's journeys, because
Yeah.
our journeys are different.
Different, yeah.
Where you come from is different from where I come from. My tribe is different from your tribe.
Correct,
You understand? As
yeah.
much as I can copy your life,
Yeah.
I will end up losing myself. My skills and your skills are different.
Yeah.
My qualities and your qualities are different. I can only take those motivations from you, but
You have to. I'm glad you brought up that point.
Yeah.
You have to set your own path.
yeah.
There's a lot of people that can influence you. I said it in the beginning. You have to take accountability for your mindset. Every decision you make, whether that's going up north, whether that's who your roommates are, whether that is who your girlfriend is, or whatever it is, those decisions you make, you have to stick with them and hold yourself accountable for them. I would not want anyone to follow in my footsteps. I had people that I listen to. I have people that I look up to, but everyone has a different path. Everyone has different
standard.
opportunities. Everyone has different challenges. It depends on how much you want to follow someone.
Yeah.
And you said it yourself. If you land up following someone, you're losing yourself.
You're losing yourself.
Yeah.
Drastically, like you're losing yourself. Okay, let us just talk about that H2B now.
Yeah.
Somebody who has been working for the very same club for a number of seasons.
Yeah.
When I speak of number of seasons, I speak about 6, 7 seasons.
That's not long.
And
When I say that's not long, I know someone that started at a current organization in 2011.
yeah, 2011.
2011.
Yeah,
And they're still on the program, still at the same club.
still at the same position.
They moved up, but you also got to remember there's a limit on how much you pay your H2Bs.
Yes.
We very fortunate. When I talk about we Boca Woods, we very fortunate. There's other places that are a lot bigger than us, that people are comfortable going back to that organization because they know what to expect, they know who they're serving, they know what they can get out, they can get away with.
Comfortable.
They're comfortable. Exactly that. That's the word that I was going to circulate. They are comfortable in that organization. Yet, those are the ones that are speaking bad about that organization. They are the ones that can make a change for themselves. Yet they choose to go back to that same organization, regardless of what that club is offering them. Upset every single day, unhappy with the standards, unhappy with this, unhappy with that. You have a decision to make. You don't have to go back to that same club. You don't have to come back to America. You don't have to do everything that is making you upset. Make the decision, make the change, live with it, stick with your choice. The decision could be good, it could be bad. But if you're unhappy right now, I can guarantee that choice that you make to change your organization is probably going to be in the good for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So for those people who are still at the same club, let me not mention the number of seasons.
Yeah.
Same organization for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
And there is no change.
Yeah.
We are still in the same position. We are still in the same hours.
Yeah.
We are still the same person.
Yeah.
I know that each and every season the rate go a little bit higher, but you are still in the same position.
Yeah.
For the past 10 seasons,
Yeah.
12 seasons, 15 seasons.
Yeah.
What can you say to those kind of people?
You got to look at it. I always look at it both sides. We can look at it at a standpoint that they are unhappy, they are doing this, they are doing that. We also got to look at it from their point. They must be in a position where they enjoy it. If they enjoy that tenure, they must enjoy dealing with the same members. They that could be a challenge to them. Every season could be a challenge.
Yeah.
I only have an input from the outside. I share my thoughts and stuff with the individuals if I ever do have a conversation. But once again, we talk about culture. If that culture is great, and if that culture is something that you want to be a part of, I would say be there for 10, 15 seasons.
It's up to you.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
But what boils my blood is when you come home every single day or whenever we interact, you have so much negativity built up. The thing that boils my blood, as I was saying, was when you speak to those individuals and they consistently are negative about the organization, negative about the people that they work for, negative about the standards. That's what frustrates me, because you have the choice to make the change. If you are not strong enough to make the change, to step out of your comfort zone, I'm not no one to blame. You're the only person to blame. You're the only person to blame, and the person to blame is yourself. A lot of people cannot hold themselves accountable. I said to myself, I was like, if I don't reach a goal that I have, I gotta change my environment in order to get to that goal.
Yeah.
Big, small, long, far, whatever it is, you got to make a change. You got to make it happen. But it all depends on how you drive towards that goal. And I can talk about something quickly. I interviewed my senior food and beverage manager that was Atlanta Athletic Club, and he is 30 years old. And when I sat down with him and I said, what is your vision, or what's your goal in the next 5 to 6 years? And he was like, he wants to move into the director of food and beverage role in about 6 to 7 years. And I stopped him. I said, you as a senior food and beverage manager should be in the director of food and beverage role in the next 2 to 3 years. People that give themselves a long timeline is afraid of that next step.
Yeah.
I understand. It's fear. Everyone's going to be, it's going to be a fear. Us as leaders in an organization, our one responsibility is to train and coach people for their next position. Even yourself, I always say your job description is built around 40 hours.
Yeah.
If you're willing to work over those 40 hours, you need to be able to time management yourself, have time management to do your job in 40 hours. Anything above and beyond that should be a position that you are working towards, whether that's the assistant general manager position, whether that director of food and beverage, whether that's a captain position. A lot of people get stuck in that box of working 40 hours and saying, oh, I'm tired, I need to go home, I'm done my 40 hours. Stepping out of that comfort zone and realizing anything over that 40 hours needs to be focused on what is your next position. When I was the director of food and beverage in Atlanta Athletic Club, I used to work 60, 65 hours, six days a week.
That was long hours.
That was a choice.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that was held over my head.
Yeah.
My my clubhouse manager, shared that I should be working 5 days. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. But my goal is not to stay in the director of food and beverage position for the next 5 to 6 years.
Yeah.
My goal is to move up, learn other things. So any time I had the opportunity to learn about facilities, to learn more about the culinary side, to learn more about housekeeping, put me in a better position that I was to take my next role. So in those interviews, you could have these conversations about your new set of direct reports. So as a food and beverage director, you aren't exposed to facilities. But when you're in that role, your next position is having facilities as a direct report, or having housekeeping as a direct report, or having membership as a direct report. If you go into an interview and you can't entertain conversations about your direct reports that you are wanting, it puts you in a very small group of being able to be chosen for that position. I was so focused on facilities, on housekeeping, after working my 40 hours in my director of food and beverage position. That's what excites me.
Really?
Oh yeah, I was in the kitchen, asking about certain life expectancies of a machine, how we do this, what vendors come out, why do they come out, pest control, this and that, because I knew my next position was going to set me up.
It's gonna be, you'll be responsible for such things.
Exactly. And if you want to leave that late in your career to only face it when you are in that position, unfortunately, you are going to be put behind someone that can entertain those conversations in that interview. It's a choice. If you want to stick to working your 40 hours, you can please yourself by working 40 hours, have Saturday, Sunday off, have a great time going down to Sunday brunch, having a good time. It's a choice.
It's a choice. Life is about a choice.
Life's about a choice. Your roommates, it's about a choice. If you're living with 6 people that want to party every single night, fear of missing out is true. You can go to Blue Martini, Trekkies, you can do all of these things every single night, but every single night you go out is costing you money. It's setting you back from the individuals that are sitting at home regenerating the energy for their next day at work. You're always on show with the members, with your team, with your general manager. That's something a lot of people don't understand. What you wear, how you wear, how you wear, what you say, when you say, who you talk to, how you talk to people. All of that ties in with body language.
Yeah,
exactly.
All of these things, yeah.
And it creates a perception for yourself. If you're not aware that you are always on stage and you are always creating a perception for yourself, people need a reality check real quick to understand that you are always on show.
Yeah. Wow, man. I know that you know a lot, but I think you know enough.
Yeah.
And I know it's never enough.
Yeah.
But in your position, I think you have worked with a lot of people. Now you know exactly what to advise, how to advise people, and that's the reason why I brought you here.
Yeah.
And trust me, having a lot of of H2Bs following it right through, I know a lot of people. Maybe someone is gonna change his mindset because people are comfortable.
Yeah.
And it's not wrong to be comfortable.
Exactly. Yeah.
But you must also remember what you want. You must also remember why you're here.
Yeah.
And I normally
sorry, Scott, it's important to know what you want.
Exactly. Yes.
People need to know what you want. Not I don't need to know what you want. I need to know what I want for myself. I need to what I want for my family. That's what needs to drive you. If you don't know what you want, it's okay, but you need to find out what you want.
Yes, it's not simple, but I think if you sit down, it becomes easy.
Correct.
Yeah.
You got to take the time to understand. If you are walking a road blindfolded, not knowing where your destination is, it's tough. It's hard. It's questionable every single day when you are done work at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. But if you have a goal in mind, whether that's sending money home, knowing what you're working on, knowing that you are building a home in South Africa, regardless if your future's in America or South Africa, Romania, Ireland, or wherever you want to go, you got to know what you want. You can come in here, go out every single night, have a drink every single night, but don't forget about what you want. My wife will always say, I'm someone that knows what I want, how I want it, and I will get what I want.
Wow. That's
not to be arrogant, but it's always helped me along my way.
Yeah.
Been very respectful with my relationships that I've created, but I wouldn't say I've burnt a relationship or burnt bridges, but sometimes people have the wrong interest it's always their interest in mind, and they are not very supportive and helpful. And it's reality. Sometimes relationships work, sometimes relationships don't work.
It's
It
part
is
of
what
life.
it's part
That's
of
how
life.
it is, man.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Wow, that's nice. So now I want us to speak about you meeting your wife now.
Yeah.
But before we talk about that, what is that you can advise, or just you've been motivating a lot about H2Bs and all
Yeah.
the stuff, but I need you now to be specifically like, what is that you can say to them? What is that you can advise them?
There's many opportunities out there. You just got to look for it.
Yeah.
A lot of places promise. If they do not come through with their promises, it's something that you need to look at. People are also very busy. A lot of people, H2Bs, J1s, want the opportunity to fall in their lap. We got to understand, and when I talk about we as individuals, part of our hospitality, a lot of times we wait for the opportunity to land in our lap as a golden opportunity.
Yeah.
We got to understand people are busy. People are busy in organizations. People are busy trying to please our members, as we all are. If you want something, or if you want to start a conversation, don't be scared to ask. Don't be scared to go to a club member or a general manager and be like, hey, listen, what is the opportunity that I could spend the next 3 to 4 years with this club? I really enjoy it. I really want to be a part of it. I really enjoy the culture. I really want to be valuable to this organization.
Yeah.
How can I get there? Easy. The green card opportunity. A lot of clubs might be open to it. A lot of clubs might be against it. A lot of clubs might contract you. There's many different things. One thing I can say, if you want that opportunity, just ask. Don't ask me as a friend of yours. If I was an H2B and you were an H2B, I wouldn't be like, hey Nati, I want a green card. I really want to be part of this organization. Me as an H2B, I wouldn't say has no pull, but you also got to understand the people that are making big decisions is going to be the general manager. Have a conversation. Speak to the executive assistant. Hey, can I please set up a time to speak to the general manager? Country clubs, and that's what's great about it, we have an open door policy that makes it comfortable for individuals to come in and speak. Find time to speak about what you want. Find time about trying to reach your goal. We have an individual, Michael McMinn. He is a photographer. He is a bartender at the club. He is an exceptional photographer. In his plan, he wants to become a content creator for the club. He has expressed that to us. We now know about his goals, about his ambitions. That's something that we want to know. And when
Small things.
it's small things. But if you see it as an opportunity, if you're serious about the opportunity, go guns blazing. Be respectful. Understand the environment that you are in. Understand what you're asking for, and just have a general conversation. Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, sir. I really want to spend this time with you. Can I really get the opportunity to stay with the club? The worst you're going to get is a no. What's going to change? Nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
Your vision might adjust. Your wants might adjust. Your future might adjust. You might jump to another club and ask the same conversation, but don't be beaten down after the first ask. There will always be a place for you. You just got to find it. It's not going to land up in your lap as a golden opportunity. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't.
You have to earn for it.
You have
work for it.
Exactly.
You understand? Because it's not a matter that all the time when you ask, you're gonna get it.
Yeah, but you have to be passionate about it. If you coming in, earphones in, doing your own thing, not really being interested, I go back to you always on show. If you're doing your best every single day, you will have a much stronger leg to stand on to ask for certain things than if you were someone that didn't have the integrity, that was coming into work because they have to come into work. There's a difference. When I walk around the organization, I can see individuals that are happy to be at work. That's what makes the culture and the organization great at where we work. You can see people are happy coming into work. That's why we have a culture where
it's raining now.
Yeah, where it's open. It's an open forum. We have a great HR team. We are wanting to do our best whenever we come into work, which makes the culture great.
Simple thing, just ask.
Yeah.
Open your mouth. But I've learned one thing in life, that whatever that you ask, it's not gonna always be a yes.
Yeah.
You understand? Like sometimes you just have to accept that what you need, it might not come your way. You understand? But putting effort in there, putting interest, putting work, show up. Like, managers are people.
Yeah.
That's what I always tell people, that I'm not gonna be scared of Carl because that's it's a director of operations. At the end of the day, it's not gonna bite me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not gonna eat me.
Yeah.
If maybe I come to you, then I say my point of suggestion, as much as you can be against it. But you're not gonna eat me, you're not gonna kill me. You understand? If it's different from your opinion, oh shit, I messed up, he doesn't like it. But I can always do better from it. And I know for sure that me coming to you, you're gonna tell me something different. You're gonna correct me if I'm wrong. Tomorrow, if I come again with an approach, it's gonna be a different approach. You understand? It's about learning. So out of everything, guys, just ask. All right, Carl, before we become long, now we've been sitting for an hour and we're still gonna sit for 45 minutes. So how did you meet this wonderful woman? Because I can see that you are happy, man. I can see the happy face in you.
It's actually pretty funny. As we mentioned in the beginning, she was, I wouldn't say my direct manager, indirect, because I was working in banquets and she was in My Pie, which was a restaurant at Boca West. And during the Christmas period, we would go over and help the restaurant team. And she would just be herself. She would do what she had to do. And it was, we never had anything in my first season or my second season or anything like that. It was just a working relationship. My sister became best friends with her sister, but
your sister is in the program as well.
She was in the program. Okay. She's back at home now.
All right.
Yeah, so we were friends. We were mutual friends. My sister had her group. I had my group. We mingled and stuff like that. My indirect manager, we would go over. Her friend group was my sister's friend group. So we saw each other, but we only started becoming serious when she joined my Up North club at Fiddler's Elbow. And it was crazy because she knew every one of my girlfriends that I had through the seasons. It was
South African girlfriends.
It's South African, Portuguese, American. It was just crazy.
Yeah.
So, and the reason why and how she knew them was because she was part of my sister's like group setting. So, if you had to ask my wife knows every one of my girlfriends. And when we went up north, we worked together. Our work ethics is very similar. Her drive is very similar, and we just saw very much similarities between us. And it just kicked off from there. And I said, I think it was like 2019, we're going on 4 years being married. 2020 we got married. It's just our goals and stuff aligned. One of the biggest things which I knew, it's obviously we're coming from a third world country. She's from a first world country, Romania. Our cultures were going to be different. Our beliefs were going to be different. But once again, the challenge is a challenge. If you walk into something knowing the challenges, you also got to know how you're going to overcome them and know that it's going to be a challenge overcoming them. If you go into something knowing that the challenge is going to beat you, you're already defeated from the get-go. So it's definitely important to understand that every marriage is going to have challenges. Every relationship is going to have challenges. We don't speak about the D word in our family, and the D word being divorce, because the easiest thing is to quit. And I think the divorce rate in America is so high, and that's not something that we want to be a part of. So it's a great relationship. It's a great marriage. There's challenges here and there, but as many other things, there's always going to be challenges. So
no, that's beautiful.
You just got to keep driving.
And I'm happy for you. I met your wife without knowing that she was your wife. So the other time, because I always like to meet new people, you know, and she was like interacting to everybody. And like I'm passing and she's like, hey, how are you? I'm good. And how are you? She's like, oh yeah, I'm his wife. From there, and the time you're gonna give me the ride.
Oh yeah.
I think you gave me the ride. I think a week before. And we just have that conversation. You always like give me those facts about life and all the stuff. And she's like, I'm like to her, how's my South African brother? Man, she spoke all the good things about you. Trust me, she's feeling so happy. She's feeling so privileged. And like, she was just telling everybody, because we were standing there with the banquet team, all of those people telling how great you are, and sharing the story about Atlanta. That you guys like the furniture delays to come to your apartment and all the stuff. But always you'll just open the window and say, life is beautiful.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So you're appreciating those smaller things.
Yeah.
Carl, I think the weather is very bad right now.
Yeah.
And I think we touched based on everything that we wanted to speak about today. And I hope that the more we grow as we drive through, I think you're gonna come and join us again one day.
Definitely.
But thank you so much, man, for choosing us, and thank you so much for compromising with your day off, spending with your wife. Come and chill with me and talk to our people, man. You are a director now. People, they need those motivations.
It's great. I mean, obviously being in the position and stuff, I love chatting to individuals, whether it's H2Bs, J1s. I can always talk from my experience, and I love giving all the experience and knowledge that I know.
You know,
as we touched on, I don't know everything, but being an H2B and coming through the seasons,
you have learned a lot.
seizing every opportunity that I had. It just helped me. But I appreciate you inviting me out. It was a great conversation.
No, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it, bro.
I
hope we're still gonna talk. We're still gonna hang out.
Yeah, for sure.
It's about time now to go up north. I'm gonna miss you guys.
Yeah.
But definitely sure we're coming back, and we're still gonna make it happen.
Yes, sir.
I wish all the best in your career, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, man.
Yes, sir.